So I'm back in the studio finally after about 2.5 months of lockdown. I missed the look and the smell of it and having my tools around me. One of the things I love about it is that I get to spend half my time painting people, real live humans. And of course, because we're still in isolation, I won't be able to do that anytime soon. At least this process, which I've worked out during the lockdown of painting people over FaceTime, is turning out quite well. It's definitely much better than painting from photos or other static material, because you see the animation, you get to see the movement and expressions, which are so key to conveying a real sense of personality in a painting. It'll certainly be put to the test this week when I'm painting Mr. Jamie Oliver, who I've known for many years and is a lovely man, but I've so far never managed to get him to sit still long enough to do a painting. Will I be successful this time? We shall see.
Hello!
How are you?
What's the rules on sitting for an artist? Like,
Shall I just be normal, or do I have to freeze? Or like, I don't want, what if I look like a miserable bastard?
You want people's heads to stay fairly constant. Otherwise, you can have one eye kind of clicking one way and mouth another. Which, yeah.
Don't make it wonky, Johnny.
Some of our friends are like that anyway, so there's nothing you can do.
I find your talent quite annoying. Like, that level, I'm nowhere near that on cooking.
Which I think everyone else's talent is annoying in that sense, because it's something we can't do. I mean, your talent for cooking is unimaginable, certainly for me and probably for most people, because you've got so much more experience and instinct for it than anyone. I think part of the point of doing this was actually, I think a lot of people who do drawing and painting, especially when they do it part-time, feel they have to get it right. And I think, it's not that I get it right every time, but obviously I do more of it, and I've had so much practice, I get it probably right more often than other people. But I think that people shouldn't be afraid of getting things wrong, or because sometimes it's more interesting when it goes wrong, i.e. not how you planned it.
Have you ever painted drunk? Is that a stupid question to ask Johnny Yo? Like, can you not do drink and painting?
Well, so there's an interesting thing. I think that actually drunk painting isn't very helpful. I find that I get pretty sleepy and don't notice sort of details and impatient as well.
But I think it's interestingly, like, art and music have always had a history with relationships with booze, things you could smoke or take.
Looking for inspiration.
Van Gogh, I mean, he apparently was very, I think he was fond of lots of things, but I think absinthe with wormwood and natural hallucinogenic was supposed to be the reason that his yellows and greens were quite...
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I mean, those days that they didn't have such easy access to the panoply of modern drugs. And I think that's right. I mean, absinthe was and I mean, it's a long time since I've had any, but it certainly does do things which normal alcohol doesn't. It must have been amazing. I don't know is how much he was drinking and painting. I'm guessing not that much, or what it was it would inspire or kind of enable him to kind of see in a different way or have madder thoughts, which then he was able to use his talent to then kind of remember the effects of it. I feel like certainly, I mean, when I've had absinthe, I've just blacked out completely. I have no memory what happened. I hear terrifying stories afterwards of what I did and said to people.
Do you know a guy called John Simpson, the famous war correspondent?
Oh, yeah.
So I did an interview with him at one end of the table, me at the other, and it was for GQ magazine, and we had a 2-hour interview whilst sampling and tasting different absinthes. And the ritual of doing it properly. Like with most things that are kind of misused, like tequila, actually if you go back to the heart of it, true tequila and true tequila making and absinthe is as beautiful as whiskey or brandy or any of those things. But I must say, I was probably at my most annoying cheeky chappy. I was probably 26 at the time, and John Simpson was still a more mature man and like a Bond-like character. So I think the contrast of me and him and Absinthe was made for a very interesting interview. Do you remember that cards game we had maybe a year ago? I think I'd had such a hard time with work.
Yeah.
I was so excited to see all my friends and have a little bit of booze that I hadn't done in a long time. And for the first time in my life, I didn't wake up until 1 o'clock the next day.
Yeah.
I should have really learnt those lessons 20 years ago, but 44 and still getting it wrong.
Well, it's a funny thing when you've been working really hard and stressed, and so you're kind of, the rare times you do get to lay your hair down, you tend to do it quite quickly because you're also expecting to have to go to bed and wake up early. But when you do that and then you don't have a reason suddenly to go to bed early and you can just carry on, then that's the stuff of legends, really.
Nothing good happens. That's why our wives are so important, Johnny, to get us back before it all goes wrong. I think to have a happy family life, you do need to try and get everything else in line. It can't work being all or nothing. Do you know what I mean? And I think everyone has had their own very different lockdown. If you've got a 3-year-old, that is a million miles different to a 1-year-old, to a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old. Let alone if you're on your own. Do you know what I mean? And I think even for myself, I've got 150 staff in my team. Every one of them has had a very different experience, and some have really struggled. So. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? If you're on your own and it's silent all day, that's been tough for a lot of people. And if you're sat there with little children, then you're going to go mad. Even me and Jules have, we've had, it's been incredibly stressful keeping on top of little River over there, who wants to climb up everything. If you say don't jump on that, he'll jump on it. I mean, it is. You're essentially a lifeguard and a bodyguard and a security guard, and you don't want to do anything that's going to make you want to go to a hospital in these times.
Yeah, true.
I think also, with work and family particularly now, I know everyone talks about being a good husband or a good dad, and if you're employing people, a good boss, but not many I always feel that the concept of your friendships always seems to come very much last. And if you really love people, they almost become last of last because they understand. So, I mean, I feel that I have to fight tooth and nail to get quality time with my friends. And I think that friends, other than all the emotional stuff, they're incredible antidotes to the stress of life. And, the ability, having had shared times over many years. Hi, babe.
Can you put my necklace?
A necklace on. Come on and stand up. Stand up on here. Say hi to Johnny. He's my friend.
Hi, Johnny.
Oh, with an American accent. I like it.
I don't like Johnny sometimes.
You don't like Johnny sometimes? Well, lots of people don't like Johnny sometimes.
I don't. Where is Johnny?
I'm stuck inside this iPad. I don't know how to get out.
Can you say hi, Johnny?
Hi, Johnny.
Say, Johnny, you're the best. Right, you got it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Off you go. Go and play in the motorway. There you go. I don't like Johnny very much.
It's refreshing when people are honest, though, isn't it?
That balance of work and family has been quite hard, actually. When we were doing the cooking show, Keep Cooking and Carry On, River, he don't understand this. So you'll be filming a recipe and he'll come in and he'll just throw a wobbly. And of course, that's fine. We can edit that out or whatever. But also, I don't have any more ingredients. So if the recipe goes wrong, I have got nothing to replace it with. So when we did Keep Cooking and Carry On, literally I had a little sad half a courgette and a slightly beaten up pepper, and I was using frozen sweet corn. And do you know what I mean? It was proper ducking and diving. There wasn't, when we do our normal TV shows, everything's in spanking condition and spritzed. There was something very raw. I mean, even I was delivering the show in the first couple of the days, and it was just like a machine getting. But then as the protocols of TV came back in, sort of day 3, day 4, they started requesting, "Can I do this? can I do that? You know, with like a TV head. And I'm like, dude, no, because I haven't got that. And I'm not getting any more food for like 5 days. So it was amazing to actually have the scenario and the pantry and the freezer tell everyone the only things I could do.
And that's, from that point of view, it also is much more like everyone else's experience.
Yeah.
Is, like, we didn't really plan for this. You know, oh fuck, what's
The response from the public was so kind, because I think they wanted to see a familiar face, and they wanted to see things that they could do. Because the immune system was so talked about with COVID-19, it kind of comes back to the same thing of anything that we've done before, which is like, you know, how do you find brilliant, cool ways to get fruit and veg in people? Because I didn't have any like wardrobe or makeup or anything, I just looked like a I just look like a bag of shit every day. I mean, really bad hair, but it was quite kind of freeing to look like a bag of shit and present a program.
That's another nice thing about the lockdown, of course. Everyone started, it was fine for the first few days, but then, at some point, everyone had to acknowledge, unless they had some talented hairdresser in the house.
Well, I cut my hair. Look, this is like, I won't show. Yeah, I did it with a vacuum cleaner, a Dyson, and a shaver. I created a new method.
Wow.
So you suck the hair, and then you basically tap.
Wow.
So it's called the suck and tap method.
I think if I did that, it would pull up huge clumps from my scalp.
Yeah, you'll end up looking like someone out of Guess Who.
Look, you lovely man. This is good. And I think rather than like kind of push on indefinitely, why don't we leave it?
Call it?
Yes. And then, let's do another one in a few days.
Thanks, mate. Are you happy? You cool?
Yeah, it's really good.
And shall I wear the same top next time?
Yeah, as long as it's a bit like that. I mean, so t-shirt is good because I'll have that. I mean, to be honest, I've got you quite close up. I mean, it's been kind of like, because I'm quite close up to it. So there's only going to be just the bit of your shoulders in it, really. So something in similar shapes, great. And it's looking a bit funny at the moment, but you'll see it all at the end.
I trust you fully. Mate, take care. Lots of love to the family.
You too. Thanks, Joe. See ya. It's actually, I mean, it's not obviously quite the right shape, and I think I've got to sort of, the mouth isn't remotely him, but I quite like it when you make a fast start to something, I haven't drawn it out, I just gone straight in with paint. You kind of work a bit more instinctively, and actually it's quite a contrast again from the other ones I've done. And I like the way these brush strokes are sort of naturally kind of implying certain shapes and planes of the face already. It's interesting. I'm interested to see which way it goes. It might change completely, but sometimes you look at them after a first quick session like that, and it's like, what the hell were they doing? But I think with this one, there's something nice about it, which I hope I can preserve and keep going in the same sort of style. We shall see.